Hey everybody. So I was just sitting here talking to myself as one does. But really it wasn't like talking to myself exactly. It was like I was imagining I was talking to the universe and like everybody in it. So I was doing that and I was like, oh, this is good. I gotta record this and share it with people in case it's of use to anybody else. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge and honor those who have passed. My cousin my cousin passed away from this planet in the physical last year, and that was it was her birthday this week. So there was a series of like moments, and they were like, the gravitas of grief or a loss or something like that. I question things. I question my understanding of the universe, and I question like, what is the physical? What is the non-physical? What is heaven like? Like, does she still conceive of herself as a being with a body, or even a gender, or what does she remember from Earth, and like all these questions. And then I think about my mom who passed in 2022. And I start the video by acknowledging those personally in my life, and also to show you this happened today. This was a soap dispenser from my childhood that I found in my mom's stuff from her storage unit. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, from my mom, from my childhood, and it's super cute. And I'm gonna use it. Well, it obviously broke, and that was today. And I watched myself. There was a moment where I didn't, like, it was just like a moment. Like, it wasn't that long, but it was just noticing. And then I almost had like super quick like series of options to choose from, and I went with cry. like I was like, oh, like the feeling of loss and grief, and how realizing how much I've attached to physical material things, possessions, to represent people, to represent places, memories, versions of myself. And I thought, wow, there have been a lot of people in this world who have lost a lot of things recently. Shout out Gaza. We're seeing now as people are coming back to their homes, videos, the Makdus, the mom, the son who's doing a video, and she lost like her food, a can of food. She's probably homemade or whatever. And he said, our apartment is destroyed and in rubble and no wall here. Like, you get the visual. But she's caring about the food. And it's this thing in people, we have these attachments to these symbols and what they represent. And it's like the loss, it comes in waves, like what you can accept at the time. And so, not to get too heady, because I feel I'm getting heady and my consciousness is steering me back to the original direction that I was going when I made this video. But to sum all that up, a moment to connect with those we have lost, the things we have lost, just that feeling of loss. There's a lot of that in the world, and it is a teacher, and it can teach us everything we want to know from it, basically. And, some of these new age spiritual teachings, they're like, you don't have to learn everything through pain anymore, and suffering and all these things. And it's part of me can vibe with that, and I'm like, yes. And then part of me is still experiencing those things, So a compassion for the paradox of light and darkness within our growth, within the world. And now to what I was saying originally. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. I'm so grateful for you. There's emotion where I find myself in this inner world, or where it's like your senses, the sensory world. the duality of night and day, and the places we're from, and the ways we identify, and our paths, and status difference, and race difference, and yada yada, all the differences and separations of being so many parts within like illusion, you know. And there's a moment of where I can kind of step back and look and see into my life from outside myself. And they're just sometimes just brief moments. I'm not like on some Buddha stuff, you know, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving. But in those quick moments, of a connection that shakes me free of the stuff that I've been collecting and weighing on top of myself and carrying. And I have these moments where I say, oh, I forgive, and I let go of that, and I say, teach me what I need to learn from this. Teach me what would help my heart grow. Teach me how to use this and let go of absolutely everything else that doesn't serve or that is not truth. Trusting that ultimately I will be shown the vision that that my soul longs for, the one of liberation for me, of liberation for all. And so I come back to touch from the dualistic illusion into through this space towards the non-dualistic truth of things. And I touch every now and then it's back into the world and my experiences and being part of the collective, and then that space where there's a freedom from labels. Even if the label comes, there's a balance with it. There's a space from it, and that it's not hostile, it's not separate, it's not something to defend yourself against. It's just what it is. And there's a clearing of the channels from my heart to God, to the universe, to other hearts. And I'm able to consciously say, may all the energy that I put out into the world be of service to our liberation. May all the thoughts that I put out into the world, may all the feelings I vibrate with, and if they aren't in the way that I think they should be, may I be able to come back into that space where I'm allowing reality to be as it is, and continue that motion, even if it slows down for a little bit, to boom, have that non-dual charge. Like my whole system gets charged, my whole system. Free Palestine, by the way. Free Palestine. And you see that the identities of culture, nationalism, ethnicity, geography, all these things, you see that they're paths that we choose through which to experience our liberation. And we bring up everybody like the ones closest to us could probably feel it the most, but we bring up everybody. When we elevate, the collective elevates. So any life you're living in, it's not wrong. It's not something to have a shame or a guilt or a heaviness with. It is the lens through which you will see liberation. Wherever you're at, no matter what you've done, no matter who you think you are and all that jazz. Where you're at exactly can be used, every parcel of it, towards your elevation, your liberation, and therefore the liberation of all. That's the motion of everything, from the dual to the non-dual, from the separate part to the whole, the willing participant, the willing channel, the one who has found true power, true safety. And it's a call for patience to yourself. It's a call for grace to be patient and compassionate towards yourself. And all the growth that we're doing, more and more light is coming into the world, without a doubt. Without a doubt, because it's happening to me and I'm part of the collective, and that's just the way it works. And I see it, and I know the fear can be really loud and the separation can be really loud, and it's just going to be like that until you learn how to what is it? Open your heart to it is kind of what I'm getting. Yeah. And that's work. That's spiritual work, y'all. But that's what we're here to do. Liberation means letting go of the smallness in exchange for the power of God, of Allah, of oneness. And that, like, this path of liberation, I don't fully understand it, so I will park myself in humility there. But this path of liberation, it's been calling on me to take these events in my life with loss, so on, and just forgive them. Forgive them. Trust this motion, because as we breathe in and out without even thinking, this is the motion of our growth towards the divine, our growth towards light as beings of light. Even if we go so much more slowly, it is still our inherent nature to grow towards the light. Even if we have so much heavy identity stacked on, piled on, layered on, caked on, it's not permanent. It's not. It's just not permanent, and it's not truth. It is illusion. Should there be any cause for hatred, that's not the layer of truth that we will ultimately end up at. It is your lesson for the moment. It is my lesson for the moment. But the truth, okay, and now I end with a chant. In the Buddha, I seek refuge. In truth, I seek refuge. In my spiritual community or my community, I seek refuge. And I mean by that, like, God self connection, like God and self, Buddha, and truth, Dhamma, truth, and my brotherhood of one, my community being everyone, Thank you. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhamma saranam gacchami. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. I wish you all the love, support, hope, strength, trust, clarity, and vision on your journey towards the light. I am part of you. I am one with you. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I'm learning how to love you more every day. The more I love myself, the more I love you, and that bridge grows, and it grows stronger between all living things as we're elevating, as we're growing towards the light. There's Juno.